Hello everybody, and welcome to the pilot episode for Legend of Keepers. I'm doing this episode just to see if people like it and to know if I will do more of this series. I think it's a very interesting game. You may ask, what is this game about? And the game will tell us very shortly. Let's call this Chemo on YouTube. And we will start with the tutorial, so you guys will also get to know the game's mechanics as well as the basic premise.
Congratulations and welcome to the Dungeons Company. As you saw on the job posting, your main task is to protect the treasures we keep in our dungeons. We don't have much time to spend training you, so please keep up. Heroes keep coming to try and take our treasures. The marketing team has worked hard to promise gold and glory to these idiotic adventurers. We have a little time before they get here, so let's place our traps and our employees to prepare a defense.
Okay. Idiotic adventurers. These stupid guys wanting to steal our treasures. Let's place our bone catapult to get them demoralized.
We always leave an empty room in every dungeon. You can use it to ambush the adventurers with one of your favorite spells.
That's what I like to hear.
Some rooms are dedicated to combat. This is my favorite bit. Make sure you analyze each group of adventurers. Your employees are counting on you to prepare an effective strategy. Pay attention to combatants' attacks and resistances. They are key elements for victory.
Yeah, and there we go. We also have employees fighting for us. We have an orc, Brugo. We have a skeleton magus. I don't know how to pronounce that. Agior. And we have Misty the Ghost. And all of these do different things. You can see their abilities on the right. For example, Brugo here, he attacks in the front, does physical damage and applies bleeding. And he can also decrease area morale in an area. He has got 120 health, that's a lot, as well as some other stats, which I'm going to go over a little bit later. Agior is a bit more squishy, just 90 health. He does 60 fire damage to the back, and he can also decrease morale in an area. And Misty over here can decrease morale in the front and deal air damage to the back. So these are our enemies, these stupid adventurers trying to steal our treasures. There is a scout who attacks in the back for physical damage and dodges the activations of the first regular trap encountered. So for her, the bone catapult that we placed will not be effective. This one deals nature damage to the front and applies poison, and also applies poison to the monster with the highest life at start of each fight. So that would be Brugo over here. Misty is very squishy, just 60 health. Brugo has double the health. And you can also see these monsters have resistances. For example, Brugo here has 50% resistance to nature damage. So it would be good to place him in the front because he will deal nature damage to the front. Let's do that. And then we also have Valkrom, the Barbarian. He does physical damage to the front and applies broken armor, which will decrease our physical resistance, and will apply enrage to all heroes at the start of each fight, so that they will deal 30% more damage. Our physical resistance on him is 35, which is decent. You can see there are also negative resistances, so some monsters are susceptible to certain kinds of damage, and we want to avoid that. Now she does 40 physical damage to the back. He has got minus 45%, but he has got plus 25% armor. So let's put you in the back and you in the middle and confirm our selection. And last but not least, they will get to us. So first the trap will apply. Then we can use a spell. This is us, the slave holder. And we can have Show No Mercy applies Enraged to the next group of monsters, so they will also have 30% more damage.
The job also involves bullying these insignificant humans. No reason work can't be fun. You can of course kill them, or terrify them so much they'll flee like peasants, as you see fit. Don't forget that in battles, the fastest combatants act first.
Alright. Yeah, as she already said, you can see on the left how quickly these people act. It's also displayed by the speed stat, which is the 2 blue arrows in the bottom, at the bottom. And yeah, we have 2 ways of dealing with them. We can either kill them, destroy all of their health, or we can destroy their morale, which is below the purple one. And if we get to certain morale thresholds, there will be things happening as well. So now we are here with our ghost, and the game wants us to scare the front. You can see if we hover over that, the purple bar of the barbarian will decrease to half. Let's do that and see what happens. Alright. Now you can see that he is worried now, and he will take 35% increased damage. That's what happens when he gets below half. Now the game wants us to target the back with a fireball. You can see the health decrease, and that will give minus 39 morale if the target is affected by at least 2 penalties, which she isn't. She's got no penalties, she's got a buff. He's got a penalty which is demoralized, so he will lose 5 morale on the next turn. Let's just fireball her. There we go. We take a little bit of poison damage, that's due to the thug, and we'll do Scream of Terror to decrease morale a bit further. That will put the thug on Vigilant, so he will take 15% more damage. It's a strategy game, and I like strategy games. I like to figure out the best way to do things, and I hope you find that interesting as well. So yeah, if we scare the barbarian again, his morale will drop to 0 and he will flee the battle. So let's do that. And that also decreased the morale on the others by quite a bit. Unfortunately, Ghost was destroyed, but if we fireball the archer, she's almost dead. So that's good. He dies to poison, and all of our monsters are destroyed. So now they will attack us, and every damage that they deal will be permanent, unless we heal it off in some way. And we have 3 abilities: Whiplash, dealing 80 physical damage and regenerating some life if they are bleeding; Enslavement, air damage and applies bleeding; and Challenge, just for a decrease in morale. I will do Enslavement. It tells us that the archer will die, and will also apply bleeding to the thug. So now if we Whiplash, he will die, and we will also recover 20% of the damage dealt. So that was 19 health.
You did it! I knew from the start that you had potential. Know that here in Dungeon's company, we reward talent and value ambition. Shoot for the moon. And so, your training ends. I'll see you again next year for your annual evaluation. If you do a good job in protecting our treasures, you'll get the promotion you deserve.
Alright. And that is it for the tutorial. Now we jump right into the game. It's a roguelike game, as all of the games are that I play. So there is some meta progression here in talents. We have different talents and we can spend talent points on them. We just have 1 to start with, and let's see what we can get. Each time monster is defeated grants 10% chance that the master gains Shell. Shell means damage taken is reduced by 20%. Okay, and that protects our master a little bit. Grants to the master 50% chance to gain Enraged each time he takes damage. That will also increase his damage. This is protection, this is damage for our master. Intimidation deals 10 additional morale. Okay. When a hero is defeated by a monster, grants 10% chance that the group of monsters gain Enraged. So this one is more for our monsters, these ones are a little bit more for our master. And we can go up these. I won't go over all of these now. Let's start by with this one. When a hero is defeated by a monster, grants 10% chance that a group of monsters gain Enrage. And yeah, we have nothing unlocked so far. It's a brand new save file, so let's just start our run. Let's get to work!
Welcome to the company, Mog. I am delighted to have you with us. We'll need your fabled management techniques. We're putting you in charge of a little team in the old empire, a region overrun by humans. It's up to you to gather the monsters in the area and teach them how to defend themselves. Turn them into great employees, ready to give their lives multiple times for the company.
Alright, sure. So, on week 1 we have to fight adventurers, and then there's different options to choose from. This is our team management screen. Our monsters have motivation, and they will lose motivation if they are killed in battle, and if they drop to 0 motivation they will burn out, so they will be unavailable for 10 weeks. If they stay in the garrison, if we don't take them to battle, they will refill 3 motivation, so we have to manage their motivation as well. Usually tanks, for example like the Orc or the Yeti, Yeti-Go is how it's called here, will have more motivation than squishy targets, for example like this goblin over here. So pretty much tanks can be used more times than damage dealers. That's the idea here. And we also have 3 traps to start with, but let's not get into too much detail. Let's just fight these adventurers. We see if we fight them, difficulty is 2, there's no disaster, no resting room. We get a monster and some gold if we defeat them. There are 3 types of resources. There's blood. If we kill heroes we get blood. If we scare heroes we get tears. And gold is just, as in every game, money. So yeah, let's fight these adventurers. Alright, so first thing is, let's see what we're dealing with. We have an exile. Exile skill gives 25% of one's hero's maximum morale back after a fight once. So if we were going for scaring them away, the exile has a skill to prevent that. He also applies air damage and tiredness, damage dealt reduced by 20%. Alright. And he targets the back with that. Ice damage to the front and frostbite. Frostbite is pretty much like poison, but it's ice poison. And skill removes the penalty with the most stacks applied from all heroes at the start of his turn once. So debuffs, he will clear out some debuffs. And this one we already know. Nature damage to the front, ice damage to the front, and air damage to the back. Okay. Nature damage, ice damage, he has protection against that. Let's put him there. Air damage to the back. How is your air resistance? 50%, minus 40. Alright. You to the back, you to the middle. That's also good because the middle is usually hardest to attack. Not just by the enemies, but also by you. You can see all of these attacks will either target the front or the back. None of these target the middle. And there are some area effects. That's good for now though. I don't really want to go for morale damage because of the exile, so let's take the circular saw, physical damage and bleeding. Or I think it's better if they keep more bleeding. They will lose bleeding over time, so let's place this one so our next group of monsters will be enraged. And place the circular saw here. Now we have our next group of monsters. This one has high ice resistance but no nature resistance, so not necessarily do we want to put him in the front. We have another orc though, and there's air damage to the back, 30%, 25%. This one is a bit tankier, but we also have to consider if we would put him down now, like this. If the front dies, he will be the next front. Or like he would be the next front. And I think it's better to do it like this, actually. And finally, they will reach the slaveholder if they get that far. We will see. Alright, so Goblin. Goblin trick, 35 physical damage to the back, or Poison Dagger, 35 nature damage to the front and poison. You have a bit of nature resistance, you have minus physical resistance, so I think let's do the Goblin trick. Okay. And nature damage to the back or nature damage in an area. They all have a little bit of nature resistance. I think we will focus the back row. Just kill him and then we can deal with the rest. Okay, and physical damage is fine, you just have 10%. We don't want to go for morale here, so let's do this. Another goblin trick. We'll put him close to death. And poison arrow with the additional poison should do it. Alright. There we go. That's good. Now let's do the poison dagger and stack some poison on the front. And we will deal with the novice last. Okay, our skeleton archer dies. That is fine. Now they get a small hit to their morale. And we can Burning Whip. 60 fire damage and burn. Show no mercy. That would mean that our next monsters have 6 enraged on them, dealing 60% more damage. Or intimidation, morale damage. Burning Whip is fine here because we kill a guy, and killing a guy is usually good. A little bit of chip damage there. And now that's what's left. Let's deal a huge amount of fire damage. And a little bit of ice damage as well. And then finish him off with a cleaver. There we go! That's our first battle. And we get to choose another monster. We have an all. 30 nature damage to the front and gains shell if the target is affected by poison. So we want to put him together with someone who can apply poison. Passive gains plus 15 to all resistances per monster of the group benefiting from Enraged. That's good, we have some synergy with Enraged. Also from our talent that we picked at the beginning. Then there's Ballman, physical damage to the front, broken armor, and also physical damage and 50% chance to stun an enemy. I think stun is very strong. Skeleton soldier as well. 50 physical damage to the front and bleeding, and monsters behind the skeleton soldier take 15% less damage, so he protects the back pretty much. I think I want the gnoll here though. Alright, and you can see these died, so they lost randomly between 1 and 2 morale. They're still good to go, but they lost a little bit of morale. Now, merchant, buy a monster or trap from this merchant. Trainer, spend some gold to train, so this would mean leveling up our monsters. And engineer, to upgrade our traps. I usually think monsters are better than traps, but I might be wrong with that. I don't know. Also, it says, oh, archivist, so we can look at stuff. Okay, there are some items, or artifacts, I think they are called, that we can look at. But that's not what I want. Artifacts are like items in Slay the Spire, for example. They will keep their bonuses, or like the items in Luckby Landlord as well. I think I want to go to Trainer here and upgrade some of our monsters. Now, you see they get different stats. They get health, damage, resistances, also skills. And let's think about this. Who do I want to level up? Now, that's a nice combo. Gains Enraged when a monster of the group is defeated. Damage and morale, yeah, Enraged, right. Okay, and this one gains plus 15 to all resistances per monster of the group benefiting from Enraged. So we could place these together, which I think I want to do. So this costs us 200 gold, and we can train as many monsters as we have gold. Let's see. Applies Enraged to the other monsters of the group when the orc is attacked. Alright, that seems logical. So, sure, let's do it. Okay. Now, we don't have any gold. It shows us also here we don't have the resources to do this one. And merchant is also, we don't have gold. So let's go to the event. Stocktake. It is high time to go through the stock room. During the cleaning, one of your employees found this strange object. Would you like to take it, auction it, or gift it to the employee for 1 level? So, Miraculous Pill. Monsters placed at the back perform an additional attack, but lose 20 speed and start fights with 50% of their maximum life. That's interesting, right? That will give us a lot of damage, but the monsters will be very susceptible to dying. We could upgrade our Skeleton Magus. It doesn't tell us what exactly that does. Or we could sell it for gold. I think we will give it to the Skeleton Magus, so that he will get a level. Now, let's look at him. He's level 2 as well, and he gained another ability to deal fire damage to the front. And probably also some other stats, such as health, damage or resistances. Alchemist, it tells us that this will not be good, so another event. Work accident. A trainee has spilled a burning hot drink on you in front of the blood spice latte machine. Fuck my life. 120 damage taken. Alright, we can punch him or insult him, giving us either blood or tears. I will go for the tears, because I think we mostly want to kill stuff. And there are more adventurers. They are difficulty 1 just, and they will give us a monster and gold. Alright, so let's see what we can do here. Let's keep you at home. You have a little bit less morale. And think of the combo we want to do. Enraged, applies enraged, okay. So what I'm thinking right now is doing this, right? All of these are really tanky. And yeah, I think that is good. So let's go with this and see where we go. Alright, let's have a look at these puny adventurers. There's a level 2 barbarian with a lot more health. 300, that's a lot. Still the same abilities, just a bit stronger. This one is new, Priestess. Deals 45 air damage to the front and replaces one of her penalties with a bonus at the start of her turn. But just once in this run. And there's also a Magician, deals 20 fire damage in an area, and randomly moves all monsters to another position at the start of the first fight, so he shuffles us. That's something we have to keep in mind. So it's pretty much just a lot of front damage. And who do we want to take this damage? I think it's you. You want to take this damage, and if you die, you will be enraged, and then you will be very tanky. Oh, actually, yeah, because you want to be in the front, you don't have to. You cannot be in the front right now because you will be shuffled. So let's place you somewhere else. We don't want you to end up in the back. We don't want you to end up in the front. So I guess this is how we go. Then let's go with the usual rallying horn into circular saw. And place other monsters as well. Now there's no shuffling anymore, so this looks good. And yep, let's place you in the back to clean up. This should be good. Let's see how we are shuffled. That is fine. It's not perfect, but it's fine. So yeah, he gained a lot of resistances because he got enraged. Because the orc was attacked. Protective strike. It's the only thing we can do. Alright, let's do it. This can be interesting to slow all of these. But that's so much damage, look at that. Alright, ice block it is. And then you can attack the front only, that is fine. Okay, protective strike again. Unfortunately we cannot kill the back. But we can damage all of these. So that's something. We also want to pair him with someone who gives poison though, because then he gains shell. We didn't do that. That's something to keep in mind. Do we whip or do we enrage? Whip doesn't do that much, so let's enrage. There's the saw. And there we go. Now I want to kill the back, and for that reason I think Toxic Volley does it as well because of the poison. So let's do the volley. Then we have you. You can fire damage the front and kill him. That's good. The back also dies. Okay, that's a cleave. And now we should be able to clean this up. Alright. That's good. Ice Skeleton, ice damage and ice damage in area. Skeleton Scientist, nature damage in area, front. 30 air damage and minus 30 morale, applies bounty 5. The monster who defeats this hero gains 2 motivation. That's interesting. He also applies poison, which is good. Air damage, air weakness, and enrage to all monsters of the group. Interesting. But he doesn't deal much damage and he's very squishy. I will take the Skeleton Scientist. Okay, we can see our morale has changed. We have no money for the trainer. We could go to merchant, it says. Maybe we can trade blood or tears. I will take... Sure, let's go to the merchant and see what he's got. Alright, he offers us Ice Skeleton for 50 gold. So these are not that expensive. That is good to know. Do we want an Ice Skeleton? I don't think we do. So let's leave. And go to the event. Innovation. The R&D manager has developed a new trap and seems to be very proud of it. He wants to secretly sell it to you for a few gold coins. A furnace. It just says new. It doesn't say what it does. And I don't know, but let's check it out. Let's see what it does. So, furnace. 5 fire damage, applies burn 2. That doesn't seem that good. I'm being honest here, but let's see. An employee morale review done by a specialist. Okay. Okay, your employees get a therapy session paid for by the company. Killing humans is a difficult line of work, and you often have to leave your conscience at home, particularly during torture sessions. Don't you hate these torture sessions and the strain they give you on your mental health? This session will let your employees talk about their feelings and let out some steam. Alright. I mean, it's good to know that that Vokhok over here, Agonol, can talk about his feelings. So yeah, thank you very much, and give us some morale. Collectors. Some tax officials have come to collect. Good job. Good job, they drink blood. Okay. Let's see. These suit and tie vampires are here to collect taxes. However, blood is more valuable than gold coins to them. They could even grant you a monetary compensation for your blood collection. And you would exceptionally be exempted from taxes. 240 life lost. So, we can either pay the blood price and a slaveholder will lose 20% of his life, or we can pay blood that we gathered. I don't know what's better. So, we recover some life per week. I don't know what to do here. I will keep my blood for now because I don't know how good it will be later on. So
I almost forgot. The company owns several dungeons that need protecting. We only send teams when our specialists inform us that a group of adventurers are approaching. You will sometimes have the choice of several contracts. The more dangerous the heroes, the higher your bonus if you succeed. Thanks to the company's portal service, sending you to the other end of the world is a matter of moments.
It's good to work in this company. So we can fight adventurers or veterans, and you can see one is more difficult than the others. And the reward is we get a trap for the adventurers and a monster for the veterans. How do we feel? You are recovered and our morale is pretty good. So we can put together more combinations. Let's see. You apply poison, as do you, and you gain shell with poison. But you also want enraged. So what we could do is to apply a little bit of poison with one of these, and then you will gain enraged, and that will give you benefits. I think that's a strategy. And then this one can be a bit like this, but there are 2 orcs. I don't know if we want that, so maybe you there. Are we happy with this lineup? I think it's good to clean up. So yeah, this looks fine. And I will fight the adventurers. We don't have a good trap yet. Maybe we can get one. Let's see. If you made it this far into the video, always consider commenting, liking the video, subscribing, all of that good stuff. I really want to make more videos, but if I don't get any views, it's hard to keep up the motivation. Alright, there's a new enemy. a new adventurer, an apprentice. He deals fire damage, and the fire damage ricochets once the monster is defeated. And then it will go over to the next monster as well. And he's got a skill to deal ice damage to the monster with the lowest ice resistance at the start of each fight. This one we know, this one we know. They're level 2 now, so a little bit stronger. Let's see. Let's see what we can do here. Maybe we don't even build around him. Maybe he's not that good in this fight. I don't know. How are your resistances looking? You have no nature resistance, and you deal a lot of nature damage to the back. So that's something that I want to do. Nature damage in area. We don't really need the morale boost, the motivation boost, I mean. Area nature damage can be fine. And then maybe we still take him. Yeah, so this might look something like this. Okay. Now, Rallying Horn of Furnace. Your physical resistance is not that high. How's your fire resist? That's a bit higher. So Circular Saw it is. But not now. Now we want to rally our troops. And this one... physical damage to the back. Let's do this. Ice and fire damage to the front. Also do something like this then. Okay. And then place the saw. And there we go.
Come get some.
There's that ice damage. We want the toxins. Stack that poison. And poison arrow at the back. Protective strike. That will give us shell now. There we go. Toxins again. So the back one is dead already. Which is good. Alright, that was not too bad. Let's see. Burning Whip does a lot. Let's do it. The novice doesn't have a good fire resistance. Goblin Trick or Poison Dagger? Let's kill the back one first. If we can. Fireball. Then Cleaver. And that kills. Nice. Okay. And this one should also kill. Doesn't matter. Let's do this. And there we go. Okay. We can choose between a ballista, 20 physical damage in area and applies broken armor. So that's a little bit better than the circular saw. Another furnace or a cursed prism applies elemental weakness 3. Resistance is reduced by 20. Interesting. I think just the ballista is better though. Okay. We lost a little bit of morale. We can plunder. Send 3 volunteers to plunder the place of your choice. Let's do it. Let's try. So volunteers lose motivation, but they will find a monster. There's a risk that one volunteer will be gone for 10 weeks. We will gain some gold, and there's a chance to find an artifact. And that's just to boost motivation. I think I'll go for the Haunted Crypt. We gain the gold immediately, which is also good. And it seems like we didn't find an artifact and none of our employees got hurt. So that's just some free gold for us. Black market. Sell monsters in garrison that are no longer useful to you. Unavailable or injured monsters are less valuable. Okay. So we can choose if we want to sell someone. I don't know if we want to. We're looking decent on tanks. No, I don't think we want to. So let's go to the event. Cleaning accident. While dusting the dungeon, the cleaning goblin has freed a monster caught in a spider's web. He also accidentally woke up a giant spider queen who demands compensation for the destruction of her webs. Minus 120 life by choosing to fight. So if we fight, we get a new orc, maybe? But we lose health. And else we have to get rid of the spider in a new way. I don't know what this says, new. Do we get him anyway? No matter what we do? If so, let's just feed. Did we get the orc? We did. We did get the orc. Alright. We have a lot of orcs now. So workout lets us train our master. Our master will get better. And I think it costs blood or tears. Therapist is morale, but we're fine on morale. So let's work out. We can do yoga for more life gain per week. Let's do that. A business trip. Choose an employee to protect the sales department during a business trip. Sure, let's try it. So these will be gone for X amount of weeks, and they will give us something different. You will give us a nightmare catcher. Demoralize deals 200% physical damage instead of morale. That's interesting. How many do we have who demoralize? You demoralize. And that's it. So that doesn't sound too great. Also, he's gone for 14 weeks. That's a lot. Let's go with you then. You will give us a good amount of gold and some tears. And they are more adventurous. Alright, giving us a trap. Now, he is gone for some weeks. So let's see what we can do. I actually like this setup. So let's go. And after this, we will make a cut in this video. If you like the pilot episode, let me know, either by liking or by commenting, or just by watching, so I know that there is a demand for this kind of content. Alright, we have an elf, ice damage in area and elemental weakness to our group, and he, or she rather, heals 25% of one's hero's maximum life after fight once. Ice Wizard is also new. He's got 3 skills. Ice damage in area and slowed, so our monsters will be slow. Skill randomly moves all monsters to another position, so shuffle effect, and then applies elemental weakness when attacking. So all of these want to get rid of our elemental resistance. And that's just a level 2 thug. We know this one already. So let's see. I want you, but I don't want you to die first. It's area damage, but there's also a lot of nature damage in the front. How are your resistances looking? No negative to nature. How about physical? Also no negatives. Alright. Let's do this. Alright. So now Rallying Horn for our monsters. I want to keep you as safe as possible, although there's a lot of ice area damage which I cannot protect you from. Yeah. I think it's still something like this. Then you in the back and maybe you there. I don't think he does very much this fight. And then our new ballista for the slaveholder. Okay, let's see. Oh, I totally forgot about the shuffle. Damn. That's bad. Alright. Let's do the poison arrow. And there goes our skeleton. But now he's enraged at least. So that's a big ice block. Then a feeler to the front. Now the damage that they deal really is stacking up because our resistances are reduced a lot. But we will just deal as much damage as we can and then see if we can deal with them before they reach our slaveholder. Okay, she healed herself. No, that does a lot. But we could also enrage. I think Burning Whip is better. Unfortunately, he didn't die. So now we have to waste an attack on him. That sucks. But I think we should be fine here. Yeah, that's looking good. Yep. Thank you very much. And just a creeper to the face, and that's that. Alright. Flying Dagger. 30 physical damage to the front and bleeding 3. The thing is, most of the front heroes have a lot of physical resistance, so that won't do that much. It will just give us a lot of bleeding. This one looks interesting though. 30 fire damage to the back and burn 3. I like that. Alright. But we will cut it here. And yeah. This was Watch Chemo, and I'm out. See ya.